We are live.
Yeah, man. What's going on, everybody? Empower family. What's up? We have my man Bryce McKinley here with us. My man Bryce. I've been working with him for a few years now. One of the only coaches in this industry that I actually will refer anyone to. Because we know, you guys know me, you follow me. I don't do the whole gurus. I believe in a lot of the education you can find out there, you can get for free. So if you're paying for anything, it better be a massive freaking value what someone's bringing. And Bryce has been a guy that's brought massive value to a lot of people out here, not only in the real estate space, but even stuff before that. But let me not talk about all that right now. Bryce, man, say what's up to everybody. Introduce yourself and share with everyone, the people that might not know you, kind of like your backstory and like who you are and how you got into real estate, and give us the full thing real quick.
Yeah, man. I don't know how real quick I can do the whole thing, but life is definitely an adventure. And so, first and foremost, thank you, Steve, for having me on your show. And Empower family, you guys, you might not know me as well as you know Steve, but I want to commend you guys. Like, you guys have been on it. I've seen you take leadership and grab hold of Steve's leadership and direction and your going live challenge. I don't always see and understand. I'm trying to find the original post to understand what we're supposed to be doing, but you guys are rock stars. Let me just start out by saying that first and foremost. You guys that are following Steve and Empower Solutions and your family over there, Steve, you got a great community. And I just want to commend you guys that follow Steve and are in this group, taking leadership and direction by Steve and his team. Keep doing what you're doing, because other influencers, myself included, are seeing you guys, and you should be awfully proud of yourself, because you guys are doing amazing things. And I love the community that you have. A little bit about me. If you don't know who I am, my name is Bryce McKinley. Number one, I am the dad to the middle school millionaire. That's right. You can search hashtag the middle school millionaire first and foremost before all of my other accolades. I've got a 9-year-old that raised over $12 million to help the homeless kids here in Dallas over the last 2.5 years.
Mm.
And just a blessing. I'm a father and a husband, but I'm a serial entrepreneur as well. And I love the idea of being able to create whatever you want. Now, not everybody's going to be able to do everything. And that is because of this. You see, the map is not the territory. And what I mean by that is I can give you a address. You can plug it in your Google Maps, and you could find my house. Hell, if you're in real estate, you could find my house anyways. It's not that elaborate. I live pretty humbly. However, what you won't know is the hills and valleys and overpasses that you're going to go through to get to my house. And so each and every one of us is on a different and separate journey because of the maps and how we interpret life. And so my life has been a series of roller coasters, ups, downs, and sideways. And there's a couple flips and spins in there. I got into real estate. It'll be 8 years in October, and just have been completely blessed, transformed, and surrounded by an amazing community like Steve and the people in this upcoming event. And so I'm excited to talk about that. But my journey has not always been so blessed. You see, there was a time when I was dodging bullets and slanging dope and facing criminal charges that would have me set away for life. And as a teenager, hanging out with the wrong crowd, I knew that there was always something greater. There was always something better than the life that I was living. I just didn't know how and where to pursue it. By an act of God, I was acquitted on some pretty hefty criminal charges. And at the age of 17, my uncle grabbed me by the ear, literally walked me out of the courtroom and said, "You're going to come live with me." Well, my uncle lived in Davenport, Iowa. So if you're not familiar with Iowa, you're not missing much. That's as much as I'm going to say about that. And he set me into a position to where I was detailing cars at a car dealership. And in doing so, I seen the nice cars, the nice money. Heck, some of those guys had nice wives. And I knew that there was an opportunity there. So I begged my uncle for a chance over and over and over for months. And it would come in the month of December on a snowy day, about a week before my birthday, my 18th birthday. And he said, "If you can sell a car today, I'll put you on the team next week." So back in my day, as they say, I pulled out the phone book. Yes, we had phone books. We didn't have Google and so forth. I pulled out the phone book and I went to town. I started dialing and calling people and trying to set up service appointments, see when the last time they had an oil change and so forth. And I got people in the door. And out of the people that I got in the door, I ended up selling 3 vehicles my first day in the car business. My uncle was blown away. The sales team was blown away. And I had 2 more cars to sell to break a record. And so that was my next goal. Not only could I sell a car, but I had to break some records. I'm just a competitive guy at nature, and money helps fuel that flame. And over the next year and a half, after being put on the sales team, I would become the #1 sales rep for Ford Motor Company in a small little dealership, which means I'm working 10 times harder than the guys in a big dealership. And I was recruited out of my dealership. I went to work for Ford, corporate, Nissan, Toyota, Honda as a private consultant. And my story doesn't necessarily end there, because obviously I'm in real estate now. Because of some unfortunate events, I had to leave the automotive industry. I had a wife whose son was killed. My wife took her life in 2008. Between 2008 and 2010, I lost close to $80 million in 5 companies. I mean, what's a man to do to get a break, right? And then I found out that the girl that I had been messing around with in this drunken coke binge stupor was having a baby. Hashtag the middle school millionaire. And I sobered up March of 2010. And over the next 18 months, I would go to land a 7-figure contract with Tyco Corporation, a very high-paying 6-figure contract with ADT, the Pentagon, doing hostage negotiations. I've worked with Chris Voss, author of Never Split the Difference. And I was doing great. One of those contracts brought me to Texas, however, and the girl I was with, my son's mom, she couldn't sober up. And I didn't realize that until we moved to Texas. And I came home one day and she had OD'd. There's pills all over the floor. My son's rolling around in it, and I didn't know what to do. So what's the best thing a gangster does? Well, he picks up and runs and gets the heck out of there. And then he puts his child back down in a bunch of pills, takes pictures, and then leaves. And so that was a Friday night. Monday, I filed for custody of my son. And over the next 2 years, I would fight for my life for custody of my son, homeless, losing contracts, losing everything that I ever had. And it was nuts. There was a point in my life in September 28, 2011, I'll never forget the day, I had dwindled my savings down to about $32. I was sleeping in my car. And if you can see this box on my shelf here, that's a box to the 40 cal that I had at the time that had never jammed before, hadn't jammed since. And that night it jammed 3 times in my mouth. That was the moment that I knew, as my great friend Les Brown has said, I had greatness inside of me. And so I went to work. I went to try and find new jobs. I went to try and get hired as a sales rep and then pitch them my consulting services. And in doing so, I got retargeted to work from home at some point. And then I seen ads for wholesaling. We've all seen them, right? They get us to go into YouTube and we go down this spiral. I refuse to go down the spiral. And that's what I'm asking you guys. If you guys are watching this right now and you're going down YouTube University, quit doing it and take action. Look at the income producing activities that are available and do those first. And that's what I did. And lo and behold, my first month in the business, I contracted 23 houses. My second month, I contracted 37 houses. And I thought it would all be downhill. But I didn't understand the back end process, and I had contracts falling apart fast. And so I ended up partnering with a local company here in Dallas. They were looking for salespeople and acquisitions. I was looking for a partnership. They hired me. I pitched them. They were not happy. They wasted a bunch of time, money, and effort trying to hire somebody. And here I am with an ego. So they thought. I just knew my worth. And so maybe you're sitting here not fully understanding your value. Maybe you're sitting here watching this and not fully understanding what you're worth. I'm going to tell you, just like my friend Les Brown says, you have greatness inside of you. And so I went ahead and left that meeting after they offered me the job, and they said they'd think about it. They called me back a week later and said, if I can do what I did before again, they would make me a partner. And that's exactly what I did. It was technically my 4th month at this point, because my 3rd month was just kind of crumbling underneath me. But my 4th month in the business, I ended up contracting like 28 houses, closed like 90% of them. I think we closed like 24 of them or 25 of them, almost 90% of those houses. And they had never seen anything like it. They were all solid deals, and they all averaged over 15K an assignment. I was making some money. So that's how I got into real estate. And from there, we blew up. We became one of the largest wholesale companies in Dallas. And I wanted to see bigger and better things. They just didn't want to see it. So 2 years ago, we parted ways. And out of respect, because I'm a man of my word, I honored a non-compete, did no deals here in Dallas, did deals in California and Florida, though. And been super blessed. Even with that 18-month hiatus honoring that non-compete, I still have an average to this day personally of 53 closings a month. And then as a team, I've got 3 other acquisitions persons. We're doing 100+ deals a month, completely virtual. I've walked 5 properties as of 2 weeks ago. I went and met my 5th homeowner. That's a long story. We needed an ID for closing, and nobody was available. Some of the things you have to do as an entrepreneur, right? So that's kind of my story. That's where I came from, how I got to where I'm at. And I'm excited to be on here, Steve. So let's dive in and talk about this event or whatever it is you got, man.
Man, first of all, I'm going to say what's up to some of the people tuning in here real quick. We got John and Miriam, Eddie, my man Jacob. Jacob and Kirsten are the ones who put this wonderful event together. So we shout out to Jacob, man. Everyone give him some love. Oscar, Bobby, see what else? Matt, my man Dutch Jackson, man, the musical genius.
What up, Dutch?
Terry.
Matt Alcott says some new name is the excuse remover.
I love it. So, man, like, okay, we have this event, man, like Real Estate Domination Live virtual summit. We have this all-star cast. But tell me, man, like, why you do a lot of different speaking events, and you're choosing. You don't just jump in every single event. Why did you want to be a part of this event?
Yeah, so first and foremost, Steve, thank you for introducing me to the panel and the co-host of this event, because without you, I wouldn't be able to be a part of this. And so I appreciate you, bro, first and foremost. Thank you for that. For me, it's a little personal. I am all about dominating. You see, I am a believer, whether you're a believer in Jesus or not, I am, but you don't have to be to understand that the Bible is hands down the #1 book, best-selling book of all time. You may not have to adhere to the religious ideologies of some things, but you can't deny that fact. And the first thing that our Creator commanded man to do was to multiply, be fruitful, #1, which is what sharpen is, selflessly helping already persons eager for nurturing. It's helping others and being fruitful, and then taking that fruit and multiplying it, and then create the world that you live in, and then dominate. So this is the first command that God gave Adam and Eve when they decided to take things upon themselves. He's like, all right, I'm going to give you a second chance. Go be fruitful, multiply, create the world in which you want, and then dominate it. Run dominion over them is the exact words. And I live by that. And I created a mastermind a couple of years ago for the REI Results Academy that I have for my coaching platform. And it is Market Domination Mastermind. And so when I seen that, I was like, ooh, that's close. It sits with me because my goal is to not just be a wholesaler, but to be and show fruit that I am the best damn wholesaler there is. And my track record proves it. I've coached over 300+ students with a 100% success rate. And so when I seen domination and you were on there, I'm like, dude, I got to call my boy because I don't know Jacob and Kirsten at this point. I'm like, what is this and how am I a part of it? So thank you, Steve, for introducing and making that introduction. And then, of course, for Kirsten and Jacob for giving me that shot to be a part of the panel. And so I am. You're right. I'm picky about who I work with. I'm picky about what stage I get on. I've only been on stages with the best. Ty Lopez, Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Eric Thomas. And now this one, we get to be on the virtual stage with Kent Clothier and David Meltzer and FUBU genius, like marketing genius, Damon John, and everybody else that's in our industry. Come on now. I had to be a part of it. So yeah, man.
I think that's what's really awesome. Not only do we have like rock star people who are kicking ass in our industry, but when you add in David Meltzer, you add in David Meltzer and Damon John,
Yeah.
man, you have two people that are transcend real estate. And that's something that speaks to me because I like to think of myself as someone that transcends real estate as a serial entrepreneur. You know, like real estate's like one part of it. I think a lot of people who are getting into real estate who they might start out wholesaling and they want to flip and get some buy and holds, build passive income. But a lot of these people are using it as a stepping stone into entrepreneurism, so they themselves can be maybe coaches, maybe they can run other businesses in the cities or wherever they live at, or maybe they want to get into whatever it might be. You know, they have other dreams and aspirations, and this is that ladder to get to it. If you had to pick one person, who are you most looking forward, like as a fan yourself, or from to learn? Maybe not just as a fan, but maybe as to learn. Is it one of the big names, or is it one of the people in the industry talking about a subject that maybe you're not as as much of an expert in, or what would it be for you?
Yeah, that's a double-edged sword, right? I am a connoisseur when it comes to learning. Like my son and I sit down for 2 hours, one in the morning and one in the evening, and read. So I study the masters. As my good friend Matt Maddox would say, when you're in the presence of masters, sit at their feet and listen and ask questions, right? So I'm excited to learn from everybody. But if I had to pick two, I would probably say Daniel Chad Moore. I mean, he's a local guy to me. So, I've sat and had lunch with him, and his daughter and my son have hung out, and he's just like a savant when it comes to studying and understanding our industry. And when he doesn't know, he goes and finds it. And then secondly would have to be Damon John. I mean, I'm a fan. I have been since a teenager of the show Shark Tank, and just understanding how the business mind works. Because for me, wholesaling and real estate is just a vehicle to my greater purpose and mission, which is serving. And in order to do all of that, I have to understand business. And I think that Damon John is one of those people that gets it. He gets what it takes. He gets what it takes to sustain, and he understands what it's going to take to make it long term. And so just to be able to be in the same room, same platform as all of these guys, but specifically those two, because I always learn something when I listen to Daniel Chad Moore speak, even if it's just for a few minutes. He's so smart. And Damon John, on the other hand, just having the credibility and who he is. I would probably say David Meltzer too, but I've got him on speed dial. He's a friend of mine. I've had lunch with him a few times. And so if I had to pick, I would say Damon John and David Chad Moore.
Okay. I personally, David Meltzer, man, he's not on my speed dial. So we're going to have to work on that, man, and get that connection happening.
Yeah,
but
we worked together at Thrive out in Las Vegas, and
okay.
He's an interesting character, and he just loves people, man. And so it's awesome.
Like Jerry freaking Maguire.
I know. Like, show me the money.
Like in his mission right now, from what I hear, is like he wants to touch like 1 billion people this year. He seems to have such like a good heart. Someone who wants to make a difference in the world beyond just making money in business. So that's one of the things. Like I really want those type of people, or the people that's my circle. That's that life purpose, that overarching that theme, man. So just to connect with someone else who's a little ahead of me and making those moves is something that I'm kind of looking forward to myself. And then also kind of a tie between Jory Alston, who's going to be talking about a lot of creative financing. That's one of the things I am nowhere near an expert on when it comes to doing creative terms deals, sub-twos. That's something I've always just wanted to learn and master more for myself personally. But also Roxanna Wilson, who we're going to be talking to at 6 o'clock Eastern time today. I mean, she bought the block. Yeah. She came out the gate and bought the block where she lived. And I can't wait to hear that story from her at 6. I've always thought about that. I think a lot of people have who've been in different areas and you're like, man, we could only like buy this block and we can turn this neighborhood around, then buy the next block and the next one. Then you have a nice area. Then we can invest and bring other businesses in, and we can change, the shooter hood, worst part of the town into something. This woman has kind of done that or started that process. That's pretty inspiring.
I watched her video. I love her video where she was like, I used to live right there, shooting's right there, and then boom, and I own this block. I was like, okay.
And now it's named after her, right?
Right. It's so cool. It's so cool.
Yeah, so that's gonna be pretty awesome, man. So why don't you give the people just an overview, like a little highlight of what you're going to be talking about and why they need to tune in. I mean, hold on, let me just put it this way. Everybody's $97. $97. Okay, so my company Empower is giving away 1,000 free leads to everybody who buys a ticket, right? Every attendee. So even the people who want a free ticket get it as well. So $97 for 1,000 leads, right there, is a no-brainer. But now you're going to get all these people teaching. You have a third day of implementation, which is just powerful. But Bryce, I mean, why should they tune in just for you? If they ever tune in, they already had like 1 hour. Why should they pick your hour? What are you going to bring? What fire are you bringing that's going to help change their lives and take them to the next level?
Results. If you're looking for results in your business and you want to go fast, but not just fast, and you want to go far, you want to grow an empire, I'm going to be breaking down the 5 steps to every conversation and why they're so important. Whether you're trying to get your kids to pick up the room, the husband or wife to pick up their clothes or put away the dishes, or maybe go from doing 1 or 2 deals to 10 or 15 deals, or maybe just get your first deal. I'm all about results. And so I'm going to be teaching the conversations that you have to have, incorporating to your everyday life in order to get the results that you want. And secondly, I'm going to lay out on the table my process. What do I do differently than anybody else? What is it that I teach my students? The 7 steps, starting with step 1 to step number 7 when you get paid, the 7 steps of every transaction that you must know. And know this, if you're thinking about just picking a speaker or 2 and picking a time slot, you want to be watching myself, because I only teach income producing activities. And while money may not be everything, money can change everything.
Let me tell you something. I love a good IPA, like, the beer. But I mean, I don't know if I might have to put the beer to the side to the income producing activities, man.
Yeah, man.
That is really, that's the IPA that really separates people, in my opinion. Because we do, like, as an entrepreneur, as anyone who's like really working for yourself, you have so many different tasks, so many different things. It's that prioritization of your time. And that's still something I'm learning to get better at. I don't know, I'll probably be learning that the rest of my life. I think it's always a better evolution there. But it is like, nor you step back and say, wait a minute, these activities right here, I have everything in front of me. Where do I start? What of these activities are income producing activities, man? And I think that's a great way when you're overwhelmed of where to start at. Well, pick one of those.
So, I mean, Steve, I love that you recognize that, because here's the deal. At the end of the deal, this is not about you and I, this is about your audience, right? And I'm always inclined to like pour value, give some sort of tip, tool, or trick that someone can take away and implement right now. And I feel like I have to do that. Can I do that for your audience?
Bless them, man. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah. So here's the deal. If you're looking to get into real estate, wholesaling, conventional real estate, maybe flipping, the saddest thing to me, that every other person out there that's teaching us a program or selling a software and telling you how to use it or whatever, is they're always talking about building your network. Now, don't get me wrong. Having an amazing network is crucial and vital for long-term growth and sustainability. But to get started, who cares who your competition is? Because if you are the best solution for your customers' needs, guess what? You need to be focused on you, putting your own oxygen mask and then your seller or homeowner that you're helping. And so the one thing that I'm going to give you guys is step number one, where everybody else says to go to your buyers and go to networking events and this, that, and the other. Step number one out of the 7 is to market to homeowners. Without homeowners, you don't have a deal, because every buyer is going to tell you they want a 322. And guess what? Good luck going to find it, because now you're going to be looking for a needle in a haystack, because the guys like me, the guys like Steve that know what we're doing, know how to find those quicker, faster, and contract them for more money. So step number one is master your marketing. And if that's the case, you should probably listen to this guy. Like, I don't buy a lot of leads, but when I do, I buy his list. My Academy member, we don't talk about buying list of leads, but when we do, they go to my guy, Steve. And so that right there is step number one. It's marketing out to sellers and homeowners. And so that's my nugget for you guys. If you guys are wondering, where do I get started? Just start marketing to homeowners. Get started, because then leads are going to come in, and then you're going to have a conversation, and you're going to mess it up, but you got a lot further than where you're at right now.
There you go, man. I think, like, in the famous words of Nike, just do it. You know, like, hey, it's always great as an entrepreneur. You want to network with other entrepreneurs. You want to, iron sharpens iron and all that. But, if you're going to go do that, but then you're not actually trying to get deals, if you're not doing the marketing,
the steel first before you get the iron.
Are you an entrepreneur if you're not doing any business?
Yeah.
Yeah. You might label yourself as one, because you got a tax ID maybe, and you have a LLC. But if you don't have an income to file taxes for, like, are you an entrepreneur? Like, you need to focus on making your money and doing it, fail forward, and then go through and upgrade everything as the process evolves. Man, I love that, Bryce, man. That is a very perfect key takeaway. I think a lot of people do get stuck, man. They get analysis paralysis. They get insecure. They get that fear that comes over them of, well, what if I get told no? Or they start making cold calls and they get rejected, they get down. Like, you just got to do it. You just got to keep attacking.
It's interesting you say
to
that.
the side. You have to go ahead.
It's interesting you say that, Steve. I'm not sure if it's my end or your end, but you were chopping up there. But it's interesting you say that, because I don't know how old your demographic is that follows you in your group, but I know that most people have probably heard of the show, The Andy Griffith Show. Right? Like, at least our age anyways. I'm not going to sing. I'm not a great singer. I never claimed to be. But if you've ever heard that tune, I want you to close your eyes for a second and think about when you heard that song, what were they doing? Well, in the theme song of the Andy Griffith Show, I think it started actually in season 2, you see the little children running home from school with their books over their shoulder, and they get distracted by this pond. Well, the path that they're on is the journey, but the pond is life and freedom and happiness. And if you look at that as a metaphor, you think, wow, it's right there. So what did they do? They all jumped in the water. But what most of you are doing is forgetting to put the books and tapes and stories inside of your head down on the dock before you jumped into life. And now you're bringing all that shit and baggage. Oh, excuse me. I don't know if your audience is cool with that either.
You're good.
Yeah. So you're bringing all that shit and baggage with you, trying to live your best life. And you should have left it at the dock and just did it, right? Just got started. And you're listening to these tapes, you're listening to the books and novels and stories you told yourself. And that's why most people fail. And that's why most people sink when they try to swim. Leave the tapes and stories on the shore.
Man, you're chopping up as well. I'm not sure if that is my connection, maybe hosting it, or if it's yours, or maybe a combination thereof. But Bryce, I think it's probably a good time just before the quality totally drops out. I think I was on with Kirsten yesterday. It kind of just cut, at a certain point in time. So
the good news is I'm
definitely having
watching it on
some
my end,
issues
and it
over here.
doesn't look like it's cutting out. So
Okay, awesome. Okay, good. Awesome. That might just be my side right here then. I need to get a hard wire up 2 floors into to where I am at right now in the studio.
The old days where we wired it from the neighbors through the window. No, I'm just kidding.
Get some Wi-Fi extenders or something.
Yeah.
Any which way, man. I definitely appreciate you taking your time this afternoon to pop it on here, man, talking with the people. Any questions, guys, before we get off here? Are there any questions you guys have for Bryce?
Yeah, drop your questions down in there. And while they do that, Steve, let's plug the event again, the Real Estate Domination Summit. Yeah. Like, I'm sure Steve's got a link somewhere down above, sign in the chat. Like, click the link. I don't know if you guys know much about me, and we talked a little bit about me as one of the panelists and keynotes for this event, but I charge tens of thousands of dollars to have my attention. And I'm giving my time to this event because I wanted to be a part of this network. And so you guys, for $100, like, that's a good night out in a small town anyways. That's I had to preface that, I guess. But for the cost of a good night out, you can have your life changed forever. And so if you know somebody that's interested in getting into real estate, or maybe your business partner's been holding you back, like, click the link wherever it's at, get your ticket. There's opportunities to grab group tickets I think I broke it down, and for $20 a ticket, you can grab like 50 tickets and find a whole bunch of your friends and network to come in with you, and you end up paying $20. Like, come on, jump in, grab your tickets, don't delay, just do it.
Indeed, man. We have so many people. Let's go down the roster one more time. Damon John, David Meltzer, Kent Clothier, my man Bryce right here. We got Jory Alston. Come on. Who else do we have?
Daniel Chad Moore.
Of course, Jacob and Kirsten as well. Roxana Wilson, Taryn Ward.
Shameen Van Gundy.
Oh, and her story. Her story is fire, man. Like, I don't know how much of her backstory she's going to talk about it all in the session, man, but she has lots of knowledge to drop. In like 6 months, like, made $10 million off mobile homes. I mean, that's just crazy right there. But her personal story getting into it is crazy. That's kind of funny, man. I think every one of us who have found success, well, we haven't found success. Excuse me. We have made success. We have manifested it. We've all come through like some type of crazy story, man. We all have these challenges that we've overcome. And I always say, man, like people shy away and feel insecure about those stories. You mentioned, like, what's this Go Live thing that we're doing, man? And that's been a challenge, a 30-day Go Live challenge, to get people, number one, in the habit of going live every single day. And we did the first 15 days in the group. The next 15 days we're doing on their business pages and then sharing it into the group. But it is getting into the habit of doing that for building a brand in their business. But it's also like, in that process, you're opening up, you're learning how to get comfortable speaking, putting yourself out there, being a little vulnerable. And a lot of people get insecure about that. They're like afraid, they get embarrassed about the challenges and crap they've been through. But that is your power, man. Like, try to tell people, like, your challenges, your struggles, that stuff that's kept you up crying, that's had you angry, punching bricks like I used to, like however you vented those emotions out that were crazy back then, like, that is your power. That is what the other side of that is, the opportunity. And like, it's hard for people that don't go through something to have that emotional buildup and that I don't know, tenacity, the fortitude of overcoming things, to really sit here and attack and take and dominate, manifest, whatever words you want to put to it, to kind of like take this world and make it what you want it to be. Take your reality,
I love it.
Man, I can just go on a tangent forever. But anyway,
I love seeing the growth that your audience has. Like I said earlier, right? Like I'm all about results, and to see the growth from that challenge has been really cool to watch. I was trying to look, but I've got too many windows on my phone open. There was a young lady that was in your group that apologized about a week ago for not doing her live challenge, and I think that was the video that caught my eye. And I want to say her name was Susan or Sandra, but I don't recall. And she apologized for not going live. And I sat there and I'm a fixer, right? Like most of us guys are. But as a coach, like I just want to be like, toot, 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 this is what you need, go, right? And I'm listening. And the growth that she had from a week ago to now where she's at, I've been following her a little bit. I'll check in your group. And she apologized for going live, and not going live. And I'm thinking, how many of us are apologizing for shit that we didn't have anything to do or harm anybody? We need to quit apologizing and start looking inward, because that's what she was really saying. She was like, I'm sorry, self. I didn't live up to my self-integrity, And then you watch her progress. And she got even more consistent because she gave herself permission. She got more active. And I would imagine if she's doing this business or any other business, that just from that one day of seeing that lack of self-integrity because of whatever those circumstances were, and she didn't live up to the obligations that she set for herself, which is what many of us do, I would imagine that her business is thriving, or at least better than it's ever been before. And so I commend you, Steve, for empowering your group, pun intended, empowering your group with the challenge that they've been faced. And so you guys, Steve and I got to go.
Yep.
But I love you. And I know Steve does, because he brings me into your group. And I need you guys to click the link up above, down below, all the way around. Share it out, like it, love it, hate it. Just don't do nothing, because somebody needs what they're about to receive, but they have to show up. So
one last part I'm gonna put here regarding to the Go Live Challenge. It is wrapping up its last week in June. We're definitely gonna do one in August. I've had a couple people mention and say, hey, can we do one in July? I need more people if you want to do it in July. So if you're interested, put in the comments or hit me up personally that you're interested in joining in for our July Go Live Challenge. Now, I want you guys to know one thing. Not only are you overcoming, not only are you starting building a habit of going live to help build your brand, which is something you might not see results today, tomorrow, even next month, but 6 months and a year from now, when people are searching for selling their house, when they're going through and they're finding your content online instead of any other people who have made them an offer, they're going to want to work with you. Now in 30 days, you don't just have 30 live videos that on Facebook. You can download every video and put them on YouTube as well, Vimeo. You can put them on TikTok, okay? You can go through and just take the audio, and you have 30 episodes of a podcast. You can transcribe it. You have 30 blog posts. This is how you build massive content. And from that content, you can sit here and chop it up and make short. I'm not even going to go into all that right now. I don't want to overwhelm people's heads. And we're going to be going through how to build your brand.
You guys get to listen to this at the event. This is marketing at its finest.
Yes, man. And hey, Bryce does this. Bryce chops up. He has pictures. If you go on his Instagram,
I got a backwards hat.
Man, if you follow his Instagram, any of the stuff you'll see from the events and things that he's done, he's chopped up little videos, pictures, and they're everywhere. This is how you sit here and you build your marketing efforts. And we're really going to dive into that in the last half of 2020. But again, Red Real Estate Domination Live Virtual Summit. It's in the description of this post, the link. Click on it. 97 freaking dollars. Get the 1,000 free leads. Get all these gems. And the day 3 that we added, well, I didn't add it. Kirsten and Jacob added, I should say. Let's give the props to the people in charge here. they're doing a third day of implementation. So you're not just going to get hype. You're not going to sit here and be like, Bryce just pumped me up. He gave me everything I needed. Woo! Okay, doing your Ric Flair impression. You're not just going to be that. And then the next day, you're going to be like, oh, it's hump day. It's Wednesday. And I haven't done shit. No, you're going to have Monday where you're going to be doing it. You're going to have a day of implementation so you can copy and paste that on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You're going to apply every gem that you have learned, and you can sit here and start finding your success. You can implement. It was a 7-step program, correct? You can take all 7 steps and implement them right there on day one. Or at least start. I don't know all 7 of your processes. Might not get through all 7 on day one. You'll at least get the number 1, which is marketing to some darn sellers. Okay.
It leads. That's step number 2. Like, I just gave you 2 steps. Like, yeah, you don't want to miss this, you guys. If you're watching this or you know somebody that needs to hear this, make sure you share this out, because I've never announced this before, Steve. I feel inclined to announce this on your show here, bro. And I'm going to do it again tonight on Kirsten's interview with me. If you show up to my segment at least, and you jump in with us into what we're going to be doing after the event, I'm going to give you my script. Like the same script that I use that sits on my desk, I'm going to give you my script that has closed over 7,000 transactions. So you don't want to miss this. You do not want to miss this. I'm going to send that out to everybody that attends this event. And yeah. I've had people at masterminds tell me that just the 5 steps that I talk about has doubled their business. And I'm going to give you my 7-step process. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
There we go, man. Even more value for everybody. Bryce, again, man, I know you're a busy dude. Your time is locked up all day with meetings, other interviews, calls, like myself. So I do appreciate you fitting this time in here to go live in the group. The knowledge and the wisdom that you've already blessed them with here should be a great precursor for what is coming on. I'm not sure if you're on Saturday or Sunday, but it's a great precursor for what you're going to get the whole entire weekend and Monday. So again, man, thank you. Any last words?
My pleasure. I appreciate you. And the only thing I would ask is, like, if you want to learn more about me and you've been on the fence or you don't know who I am and you've seen me kind of at afar, I'm pretty approachable. I'm a pretty laid back kind of dude and easy to talk to. And I'm going to help you even if we can't work long term together. And so Steve posted in the bio that who I am. And so click on the bio, follow me, add me as a friend, follow me on Instagram at Coach Sharpen. And yeah, just get plugged in. But whatever you do, just don't do nothing.
Don't do nothing. Nothing is stagnation. Stagnation is death. So if you're breathing, take action.
Yeah, baby.
All right, man. Appreciate you, brother. Everybody, Empower family, take care. Peace. Have a great day. 6 p.m. later today, Eastern time, 5 Central, 3 Pacific. Check back in. Roxanna Wilson, the next speaker we're going to be talking to pump you guys up and learn her story about how she bought the block and got it named after her. What? Okay, guys. Peace.
Peace.